I think that, without question, was the best live event, WWE special event, pay-per-view, whatever you call it. That was the best show that this company has produced all year. NXT and WWE. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your boy Dilexman's review and results for NXT Takeover Toronto. And as always, we are live, ladies and gentlemen. I'm excited, ladies and gentlemen, to review and talk about this show. Because, like I said, it's not going to get any better than this. I'm sorry, Survivor Series. You have some big shoes to fill, and I don't think your feet are big enough to fill these shoes. NXT TakeOver Toronto reigns supreme as the best show WWE has done all year. It's better than any other takeover we've seen all year. And this is just my opinion. I believe we witnessed a classic on this show. NXT so far has delivered, for the last 2 years at least, they have delivered the best matches and the best match of the year. And this is going to be yet another case of NXT showing the main roster how it's done. Showing the main roster when you let your talent do what they have to do. You let them go out there and express their craft. You give them the storyline. You give them the build and the fuse, the right people to work with, and you let them be successful. This is what you get. Without question, NXT TakeOver Toronto delivered. And thank you to everyone in Toronto. The audience themselves, you helped make this show one of the best shows this year. Without question. I loved it from top to bottom. Toronto, you did not let me down. Thank you so much for being a great audience. And thank you to everyone who made this show work. Let's get right into it. Let's start off with the first match right off the bat. Bobby Roode, the glorious Bobby Roode, takes on the Perfect 10, Ty Dillinger, in the opening match. The entrances for both men were fabulous. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't get that right. I meant to say the entrances were glorious. It was such a spectacle to watch both men get receptions, loud receptions from their home country, Toronto. Bobby Roode had a choir. He had his own choir sing his entrance. Well, the audience was the choir too, but a legit choir with robes singing his entrance. He looked awesome with his robe on. And Ty Dillinger, came out in his usual 10-10-10 get up. And they were rock stars. To me, although the match was good. And I love the fact that the match was not flashy. It was straight up basic ground and pound blueprint wrestling. Suplex, elbow, clothesline, superplex, sleeper hold, you name it. Everything textbook about wrestling, that was this match. And they made it work. To their credit, man, they showed us that sometimes a great match, you don't have to do 30-60, 30-60, 40-50. You flips out the wazoo and then hit him with a DDT to get a big pop. Sometimes you just need a story. You just need to be simple with it. You need a reason to care. And you need two strong characters working. And guys, that's what we had. I love the match. It was exactly what it needed to be. And Bobby Roode won with his DDT, his glorious DDT. And I thought it was the best way to end the match. Now, am I upset that Ty Dillinger didn't win? Absolutely not. Am I sad? Yeah, but you know what? This is the kind of match that even if he did win, it wouldn't have mattered. The result doesn't matter. Both men came out looking like stars. And even though he lost, Ty Dillinger got a standing ovation from the audience. And it was very Chris Benoit Royal Rumble 2003-esque. It had that same feeling to it. He's going to be someone big. I know he is. They were going to have to try really hard to screw up Ty Dillinger. And I can't wait to see how well he does in the near future. So a really good opening match. And then we go into the Dusty Rhodes Classic Tag Team Finals. It was the Authors of Pain with Paul Ellering suspended above the ring in a cage. Very old school. And they took on TM61, the former Mighty Don't Kneel. The artist formerly known as the Mighty Don't Kneel. And Shane Thorne and Nick Miller. I gotta say, although there is still a side of me that feels like this finals was supposed to be Kota Ibushi and Hideo Itami versus the Authors of Pain. These guys, TM61, I felt like they had a breakout performance tonight. I kind of feel like I've been waiting, like just kind of sitting and seeing, anticipating what they're going to do. Like, and when they came in and had that first match, it was cool. I mean, they're a good tag team, but I never really thought they were like, oh my God, I have to see them. Oh my God, it's TM61. Here we go, guys. I didn't get that feeling until tonight. Tonight, I think they finally broke out and became a tag team that fans actually want to see. And if they ever end up fighting Gargano and Ciampa in the future, that's going to be a hell of a match to witness. They did a lot of great spots too. They had some really good moments in this match. My favorite, a highlight of the night actually, we had Shane Thorne climbing, I think it was like the suspender of the cage that was holding Paul Ellering. It almost looked like one of those Titantron poles that they use to hold up the Titantrons, but he was climbing all the way up the top of it. He jumps off of it with a moonsault. It wasn't a moonsault. It was a front flip. I'm thinking of Nick Miller. Excuse me. He jumps off with a somersault and then crashes down on the Authors of Pain, and that was a crazy spot, man. These two were crazy. They worked very well in this match, and I thought both tag teams had a really good match. Authors of Pain, of course, come out with the victory, as I predicted. For the most part, I predicted each match pretty perfectly, except for one, and we'll get to that one in a second. I have a lot of things I want to say about that one. But as predicted, the Authors of Pain win the Dusty Rhodes Classic. We had Triple H and William Regal go out there to congratulate them, to showcase that these guys are the best tag teams of the tournament, and they had the right to celebrate. And I like the fact that NXT is not biased. I was very on edge with them giving every single Dusty Rhodes Classic trophy to a babyface team. And I didn't like that. I felt that was very cliche and predictable. Why not have heels win it once in a while? And I like the fact that the heels won the trophy this time. So now every single tournament going forward has that aura around it that anybody could win, face or heel. It doesn't matter. If you're the best tag team of the tournament, you get the trophy. And I like that. As for AOP going forward, the next logical step is the tag team championships. Speaking of the tag team championships, let me take this time to give all four men of the tag team championship match a hand. Because I did not think there was any shot of a single match this year topping Shinsuke Nakamura versus Sami Zayn. I said to myself, there's no way any match was going to beat that match. It was way too big. It was way too awesome. It had two competitors that were kings at their craft, king of strong style. And I guess Sami Zayn is the king of he's a king of what he does. Anyways, I did not think any match was going to top that match at NXT Dallas. And then I saw this match. I saw DIY, do it yourself, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa taking on the Revival, Dash and Dawson. And every match before this match was great. And I'm talking like really good old school, making you a fan of tag team wrestling, great matches. And I should have suspected that every single time they had a match, it got better, and then 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 it got better. And then we got to tonight, where I honestly feel like Sami Zayn and Shinsuke Nakamura has been knocked off the pedestal, and we have a new match of the year. These four had a spectacle. These four had yet another NXT Classic. This goes up there with the Sami Zayn and Cesaros, with the Sami Zayns and Nevilles, with all the other great matches, Charlotte versus Natalya, the Baileys and the Sasha Banks, the classics, the matches that defined NXT. This defines NXT. What a match. The 2 out of 3 falls tag team match. Every fall they did was just, it had me on the edge of my seat. The very first fall where, actually it was a near fall. The very first pin where we had Gargano pin, I think it was Scott Dawson. And it was like a really close 3 count. It was just a simple roll up, but he almost had him for a 3 count. And I was just like, oh my God, okay, here we go. And it just crescendoed from there. It never stopped. It was growing and growing and growing and growing. It had me, a hardcore fan, who is very hard to get invested into this kind of stuff nowadays, because I've been, fed so many awesome things over the last 10 years. And I'm someone who grew up in the Attitude Era. So it's very hard to please someone like me. I'll say it. It's very hard to please someone like me. And these four had me on the edge of my seat, biting my fingernails. I was so into Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. I wanted him to win so badly. When we had Dawson get the first fall because they countered Gargano's spear, his springboard spear from the outside, into their finisher, the Shadow Machine. I thought that was an awesome counter, by the way. Really good stuff. I was very leery, and they played up the story of Gargano possibly screwing over their tag team again, as in costing the match, because you had Tommaso Ciampa once in a while going to the corner, and we see Gargano laid out or just completely just tired because he's taking a big beating from the other tag team. So they played up that story that he was the weak link of the tag team. And I'm telling you, that's going to lead to something in the near future. Keep an eye on that. But luckily for them, they get the second fall with their finisher. I love that super kick knee strike combo that they do. It's really awesome. Then we get to the ending. And so many awesome sequences of near falls. And this was at the point where I am just like, oh my God, whatever you do, please don't lose. Please don't lose. Everything. Even when Dawson locked in the knee bar on Gargano, playing back into NXT Brooklyn, I'm saying, please don't tap. Please don't tap. Please don't tap. And he didn't tap out this time. He wanted to, but he didn't. And then we get to the end. We have Ciampa locking in his bridged armbar. Gargano locking in his crossface, like a modified crossface, and then both the revival. They were holding hands while they were both in submissions. Please don't tap, but they both end up tapping out. We have new tag team champions, Gargano and Ciampa, DIY. It was a wonderful moment. It made me feel happy as a wrestling fan to pay witness to it. This was one of those moments where you tell yourself, that's why I watch wrestling. This is why I watch wrestling. This is why NXT is better than the main roster. This is why I am a wrestling fan. Oh, what a great moment it was. They celebrated. Toronto lost their minds for 2 amazing wrestlers. And please do not take any credit away from the revival, because Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder, to me personally, might end up being the best tag team WWE has had in a long time, at least for heels. Those two are great in their own right, and they deserve all the success that they end up getting on the main roster, because they will be called up very soon. I can tell you that. But as for Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, you have to believe that these two are going to have one hell of a run, not just as tag team champions, but when they actually split up and feud with each other. And I'm making a bold prediction. This is a strong, bold prediction right now. These two, one day, will compete in the main event for an NXT special, and it will be for the NXT Championship. I promise you. I'm not even going to back off on that. I think Gargano has all the tools to be a top guy, and not just NXT, but also in WWE. I think Tommaso Ciampa is a top heel waiting to happen. There is no reason why these two should not just take over everything. And I'm expecting them to touch the sky because of how awesome their performance was tonight and for what's to come in the future. You guys have just become, in my personal opinion, the best tag team. The best tag team, at least for babyfaces, in WWE. You're not going to get any better than this. This, my friends, is the match of the year. A tag team match was a match of the year in 2016. Nothing stopping this. Good luck. Good luck topping this. I like to see WWE try to top this. You're not going to. But that's my opinion on that. Next up is Asuka versus Mickie James. Mickie James got a great reception from Toronto. Welcome back, Mickie. And of course, thank you, Mickie Chance. Just a lot of great things for her. I honestly believe that Mickie James might be going into the Hall of Fame next year. And I'm fine with that. Literally, I don't mind. If we're going to have anybody be a Hall of Fame inducted into the Hall of Fame next year, I mean, we put Lita in there. We put Trish in there. The next best one is Mickie James. I mean, think about it. Mickie retired Lita. Mickie beat Trish at WrestleMania. She's had feuds with Beth Phoenix. She's been around for a long time. She had a long run. I don't see why she wouldn't go into the Hall of Fame. I think she's great for the Hall of Fame. Perfect. As for the match, good. Just a really good match. I mean, I was scared for the women following that amazing classic, the tag team classic match. Not Dusty Rhodes Classic, but this match, the tag team championship match. But they held their own. They went out there, had a really good psychology, mat wrestling, hard-hitting match. I don't think it could have gotten any better. I thought they had the best match they could. I thought the crowd was very appreciative of it. I thought Mickie James worked very well with Asuka. We got a glimpse of crazy Mickie. I think it was the spot where Asuka was kicking her in the chest, and then she just went, ah, like 2006 Mickie James. And I loved it. I thought it was great. And, man, I just liked the match. I wish Mickie would stay. Can she just stay and just wrestle full-time on NXT? I don't care. She doesn't have to go to the main roster. She doesn't need to go to the main roster, honey. You can stay here on NXT and just wrestle with the young girls. We'd be good. You'd be perfectly good here on NXT. But that's just up to her. I mean, if she decides to leave, it's on her. If she wants to go to the main roster, it's on her. She's earned that. Asuka wins, of course, with the chicken wing. I don't think Asuka got a chance to lock it all the way in. I think Mickie James tapped out a little prematurely because it was kind of weird because it was like Asuka was about to lock it in and then Mickie taps out. So it was, it was like, I think she thought she locked it in. Maybe Asuka was supposed to, she's supposed to wrap her arm around her back. Well, it doesn't really matter because it was still a good match. And then afterwards, I love that Mickie James goes to shake Asuka's hand. And then Asuka looks at the hand and raises the championship and then walks away. Let me tell you why. I think, in my personal opinion, inevitably, I can say that right, inevitably, Asuka is set up to become a heel. I think the logical long-term end game for Asuka as champion is for her to, get cocky, believe that nobody can beat her. She's the queen. She's the best in the world, and nobody can actually touch her. And then she gets so cocky, she turns heel. And then the person to dethrone her is Ember Moon. That's how it should work. Now, it's a logical heel turn. And it's not like a permanent heel turn. It's kind of like Neville, temporarily turning heel on Sami Zayn. I think it would work just fine for Asuka to get really, really, really cocky and just think that nobody can beat her. I mean, she beat Mickie James, made her tap out. So at this point, it's like, who can really beat me? Nobody. And then Ember Moon comes up and just sneaks one on her. And then after Asuka loses, she'll go to the main roster. That's how I feel it should happen, ladies and gentlemen. With that said, let's talk about the upset. The biggest upset probably in WWE this year. I just really loved what they did with this match, this main event match. NXT Championship, Shinsuke Nakamura versus Samoa Joe 2. And entrances were awesome. Love the violins. You know, Shinsuke Nakamura and these entrances. By the way, these entrances on NXT, Bobby Roode, Shinsuke Nakamura, Asuka, everything about them are just so much better than what we get on the main roster. I don't feel like they're trying on the main roster anymore. With NXT, I always feel like there's some effort, not just like with the entrance itself, but the aesthetics of the entrances. You know how Finn Balor comes out, the lights go out, the redness, the smoke, and then everything about that. It feels like NXT tries a lot harder to give better shows than the main roster. Of course, everybody knows that. But that's just all I want. I just want you to try. But I love how Shinsuke had violinists come out with him and play during his entrance. That was really cool. And the way my mind worked, I was thinking to myself, you know what? It would be really cool if Samoa Joe just went in there during the entrance and beat up all the violinists. You wanna play for Shinsuke? Play this. You know, it's just really go off on them. But I don't have that many words to say about the match itself. The match itself was really good. It was good. I thought they worked very well with each other. I love the story of the match with Samoa Joe taking out the legs of Shinsuke Nakamura to weaken his Kinshasa, excuse me. I can't believe I said Kinshasa. So Kinshasa, excuse me, his finisher. And when he did hit on Samoa Joe, it didn't have the exact same effect that he did at Brooklyn when he was at 100%. Because he's been working on his legs throughout the match, it made sense that the first Kinshasa didn't pin Samoa Joe because he was weakened, and I like that. And I also liked, well, first off, somewhere in the match, Samoa Joe gets busted open, and unlike what happened at Dallas when he got busted open, they stopped the match. They let it go on, and he got more aggressive, and I like that. And the match ends with Samoa Joe. He's on the outside, and you know, Shinsuke follows him. He gets kicked in the nuts. He low blows him, slams him on the steel steps just like he did a month ago to put him out, and then pins him with the muscle buster. In a shocker, Samoa Joe beats Shinsuke Nakamura and wins back his NXT Championship. What? Man, I'm going to be real with you. I was smiling. I actually loved it because, in my opinion, Samoa Joe has been on fire this past month under this heel role. He has completely just taken over the show as the best performer. I feel right now he is the best heel in WWE. And I'm going to say it. I think Brock Lesnar's next opponent should be Samoa Joe. You know, of course, after he takes out Shane McMahon at WrestleMania. But Samoa Joe versus Brock Lesnar. Yeah, Samoa Joe versus Brock Lesnar. That's definitely a match I think WWE should build up to and make fans pay money to see, because I pay a lot of money to see that match. Matter of fact, let's have Samoa Joe beat Brock Lesnar. Let's go all the way with him, because Samoa Joe is a monster. He is a beast, and he's a great asset to the company and NXT. He is amazing. I love watching him every single time he's inside that ring. He is a monster, and he beats Shinsuke Nakamura, and I am fine with it. I am perfectly fine with it. No one said Shinsuke had to go undefeated. What is wrong with taking a loss? To me, the best wrestlers can take a loss and still be over. I think Shinsuke, now that he's taken a loss, could be even more over. Because I was getting a little worried about Shinsuke Nakamura, about him having that mystique, about him being undefeated. You know, I was very happy when he lost, because now we really get to see how over he can be. I don't think he was undefeated in New Japan. No, he lost some matches in New Japan. What's wrong with him losing matches in NXT? I know a lot of people wanted him to win. Don't worry. Things are going to turn out better this way. Now, here's what I think is going to happen. Since Samoa Joe won the NXT Championship, the next NXT special is NXT Japan. And to me, instead of doing the predictable rematch, which could happen, I think Samoa Joe is going to fight someone else. I think Samoa Joe is going to fight Hideo Itami. Now, Hideo Itami is said to be back by NXT Japan. And I say, if Shinsuke Nakamura and Samoa Joe is moving up soon, especially for Royal Rumble, why not have him drop the belt to Hideo Itami? And then, if you want, whatever NXT special is in January, have Hideo Itami beat Shinsuke Nakamura on that show. I say we establish Hideo Itami as the champion and then have him beat Samoa Joe and then Shinsuke Nakamura back-to-back in the next few months. And those two can move up, and then we can have Hideo Itami feud with Bobby Roode. I don't care what we do, but I think that's what we should do. If the idea is to have Hideo Itami finally get that top spot, the top spot that they've wanted to give him for a long time, that's how you do it. But I do think the story calls for him to fight Hideo Itami because, in my opinion, I think Samoa Joe was the guy who put him out in 2015. That's the story they're going to go with. It's right there. And they can do it now because he has the championship back. Let's go for it. Hideo Itami versus Samoa Joe in NXT Japan. And then we do, hell, fuck it. Let's go straight into Shinsuke Nakamura and Hideo Itami. And if you really want to make it special, Hideo Itami versus Kota Ibushi. Woo, man. That's 3 main events right there. 3 NXT Takeover main events. I just gave it to you. Happy? Happy? You happy you watched this show? Now, unlike the main roster, who won't give it to you because you want it, NXT will give it to you. Like, everything that I've wanted out of NXT, I've gotten back twofold, tenfold even. So I have no reason to believe that those 3 matches can't happen. Again, the best takeover in 2016. Definitely worth an A show altogether. I am so happy I watched it. It was a classic. Thank you guys for tuning into my live review. Let's close things out with some comments. Let me read some of your comments here in the live chat. Now, oh, that's interesting. Some people are saying they'd rather see Nakamura versus Brock Lesnar, which is also a great match. I'm not complaining about that whatsoever. Now, someone said Kota Ibushi is not signed to NXT yet, and you're right, he's not. However, he does have a contract to come in and work part-time with them. So he has the best contract you can have in WWE. It's part-time, and if he does fight Hideo Itami, he's not winning the championship. Who says he has to win? Excuse me, why would Kota Ibushi have to win against Hideo Itami for them to have the match? In my personal opinion, I don't even care if he wins or not. Just like with Bobby Roode and Ty Dillinger tonight, it didn't matter who won. I just wanted to see the match. This is the same feeling I get. Like when it comes to Hideo Itami and Shinsuke Nakamura, I don't care who wins. I just want to see the match. And, you know, I just kind of feel like right now, we should give Hideo Itami the best matches we can muster up to make him feel like a strong champion. And I think those 3 matches in a row would be perfect for him. Oh, that's pretty cool. Someone just told me right here that James Ellsworth has officially signed with WWE. Congratulations, James Ellsworth. We got some detractors for Hideo Itami in the comments. People are saying that he's not over enough. I wouldn't say he's not over enough. Does he need some momentum? Yes. I do think he needs to win a few more matches. Maybe they'll do a number 1 contendership match. I say we do him versus, they might do him versus Shinsuke Nakamura first. And then he beats Shinsuke Nakamura, and then he fights Samoa Joe. I don't know. We'll see how that works. I would like to see if they do, in fact, do Hideo Itami versus Samoa Joe. I want to see how they put him into the match. Let What else we got here? Oh, I like this idea. Triple threat. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Hideo Itami versus Samoa Joe at NXT Takeover Japan. Sure. That works too. Why not do a triple threat? I'm fine with that altogether. Yeah, man. Guys, lots of great ideas. Let's hope whatever happens, Shinsuke Nakamura does stay healthy. Excuse me. Whatever happens with Hideo Itami, let's hope Hideo Itami does stay healthy. Let's hope everybody stays healthy so we can have more great matches. But thank you guys for watching. Let me get out of here before I start botching more stuff. See you guys tomorrow for my WWE Survivor Series review. And let's see if WWE can come anywhere close to this. They won't, but it'll be nice to see them try. This is your boy, Dillinger, signing out. Peace.